As an introvert, what irritates you the most? You can't even survive. Forget growing in your career without so-called networking. No matter how top of the game you are in knowledge and skills. I'm in scientific research. It sounds harmless when people tell you need to have a big network of colleagues to get a good job. Does my research papers in high-impact journals mean nothing? Answer is not without friends who lobby for your job. I'm so scared of the future just because of this. I'm still at school, and whenever the teachers say it's time for a group assignment, instantly feel tired and almost sick. I can't imagine having a job that requires me to interact with people frequently. People thinking that introvert means disliking people. I love people. I love learning about people. But when I want space to recharge, that's it. It's nothing personal. Freaking this. I don't mind being around huge groups of friends. I'll probably have a blast. But I'm not game for that 24/7. If we're on a camping trip and I frick off to go read a book for a couple hours, let me frick off to read my book. Sometimes I just need peace and quiet. The guilt tripping after you say no to plans, and the way it feels like you have to have an excuse for being busy rather than just not wanting to go, just to avoid the guilt tripping. Things like very persistent OHH. Come on, stay with us. If I'm going, I have a reason. I had a good fun. I start to be exhausted, so I see myself out to leave with positive memories. Don't make me feel bad for it. I hate when this happens to me. I just want to be polite and leave peacefully without anyone telling me that I haven't been to the party long enough. Thwarted expectations for time alone. We're planning to go out, spend time together? No problem. I'll rest up for it. But you let me think I've got a night day weekend to myself, or our thing will be over at 7 and now it's 9:30 with no sign of ending soon. I'm going to be irritated as frick. I didn't budget energy for this. When I am completely socially and or energy depleted, I've expressed my need for some quiet alone time, and someone continues to try and talk to me. People think we are sad and need cheering up. No, we're perfectly fine. We need some freaking space. When people think that just because I'm an introvert, I don't like being around lots of people and hanging out a lot. Only different between me and my extroverted friends is that I can only recharge my metaphorical batteries alone or with like a single really good friend. Exactly. I'm not antisocial. I enjoy being with my people, but I don't want to hang out 7 weekends in a row. I need that time to recharge after working MF. The idea that being an introvert makes me asocial or socially awkward. I'm not at all. I still like parties and going out and doing things. I just need lots of time alone to recharge my batteries. Small talk. I can't do it. I don't know what to say, especially when I'm talking to a stranger. I work retail, so sometimes I get those RLY chatty customers. Same. I'd rather sit silent than talk about the weather or explain how did my weekend go. I'd actually love to just enjoy the silence sometime, but people too often feel pressured to keep a conversation going. 1. Always being pushed to go out and be social. 2. Online dating. 3. Loud talkers who never shut up, plus people who just don't shut up. 4. Awkward silences. I tend to like people who talk a lot around me in social situations because it takes all of the pressure off for me to actually contribute to the conversation. Plus it usually eliminates awkward silences altogether. People assume I'm stuck up and they tell me to talk more. I totally agree. They always have to point out that you're too quiet or like a robot, which is so annoying. The assumption that some things are fun for everyone. Please. Let me enjoy my book while listening to the birds in my backyard instead of spending the evening standing next to sweating people in an area that feels way too small for me to be there. I understand some people love going out. Why is it always assumed that everyone does though? I remember the early incarnation of blind dating, the personal ad in newspapers. I could never understand why nearly all of them said they enjoyed having fun, but so few defined what they thought fun was. People who think everyone has to talk all the time to have a good time. I'll be happy. I actually really enjoy to listen to people's stories and don't want to talk so much myself. Thanks. I personally prefer listening most of the time. I have this friend who loves to talk and it's perfect. Open plan offices. Just let me do my work. I don't want to have to feel on constantly, do the high head nod every time someone walks past me, have my focus broken by having a chat every time someone feels like wandering over. By the end of the day I'm drained and upset. And the trend toward offices with glass walls. I can't focus when I see people walking by and waving at me. I also felt self-conscious just anticipating that people would walk by. My work product seriously suffered when our firm made that switch. Tried to work more from home where I could concentrate, but that was frowned upon before the pandemic. When you tell them you are trying to do something, like read, write, listen to music, or say you are doing something that I think that obviously needs focus, and they just keep talking like you've said nothing at all, it's like they don't know what silence is, or even just a little bit of patience. Let me finish writing this note to myself, then we can chat. Or when you're literally sitting there, reading a book, but because you're in the break room, kitchen etc, they think you should be available to be talked at. I mean, I'll talk if you need to, but give me a few minutes to come out of the dream world I was in. People thinking I'm lonely or depressed because I'm sitting alone at lunch or don't go out often. I'm perfectly happy and like being this way. I get funny looks in public often because I'm eating alone or something. Yes, I have friends, but I value my alone time and sometimes I just need to live life at my own pace. The assumption that I must not be an introvert because I have social skills. I just don't like having to use them, okay? It's exhausting to pretend to like you all. It's exhausting to pretend to like you all. Well spoken. Excuse me while I go recharge by dicking around with my old Bionicle sets. People usually send me, so I don't have a lot of problems with it. The thing that irritates me is the people that don't know what introvert and extrovert mean, and happily label anyone. When people ask me what's up 10 times a minute, like, dude, I kinda look like something's wrong, but it's okay, I told you. Forced compulsory group assignments projects, the obligation to get along with everyone, or at least fake it, answering phone calls, when shopping for clothes, the salesperson coming over to help you, entering alone an empty store. Group assignments will be the death of me. No, I don't want to work with people I just met and be fake outgoing and happy around all of them because I'm relying on them to get a good grade. Just let me do my project alone, please. I think when some very extroverted people think they need to put you on the spot and push you out of your comfort zone for your benefit and they don't get how much you don't want it. Like try to force public attention on you, try to force you to make a speech, try to push you to dance, insist you go introduce yourself to people you don't know for whatever reasons etc. A friend who claims to be introverted but gets mad at you when you need your alone time. Every week they call or text, expecting maybe today is the day red siren's overwhelming need to hikikomori herself into the 4RTH dimension is no longer present. Therefore let's make plans with everyone on our contact list, and their 20 kids under 11 years of age, to hang out together. Pandemic, what now? Even after explaining to them that, yes, you're still my best friend and I love you, duh, but I need to be alone right now. Every time you call I have to reset my internal clock. You are a person. So, yeah, I'm gonna lump you with everyone when I see I do not want to talk to anyone. No, OFFS. I am not mad at you, but sis, that's about to change real quick if you can't respect my boundaries. You're always like this. You never want to do anything together anymore. I don't like going to the movies by myself. Come with me. I'll even pay. Shopping is much more fun with someone else there. It's like we're not even friends. You don't want to talk. You don't want to come over and you don't want to hang out with everyone. You're not an introvert. You're just antisocial. If you also were a deviant who vandalized school after dark or go destroy the tide pools on the beach, I wouldn't be surprised. You're a psychopath. I'm so tempted to just reply with, yes, sure, I'm a psychopath. Now will you leave me alone for the next 9 days? 1. People not knowing what introvert means and thinking it just means shy or quiet. 2. People treating it like a disease. I had to sit through a presentation at work that was literally called How to Work with Introverts. People talking to me when I'm obviously wearing giant headphones. If I gesture to them to tell me later and then they start using sign language. You should just gesture them to shoo away XD. My extrovert friend always used to try to get me to go to bars and dance or sing in front of everyone or whatever, telling me I need to step out of my comfort zone. He tried putting all the attention on me once at a party and I felt so embarrassed. Quit making introverts feel bad for stuff they just do not want to do. I've fought hard for my comfort zone. I'm all for expanding it too, but it has to happen on my time, not forced by a loud and clueless person. I don't care for clubs. Yes, I'm bored. I told you I hate clubs. I hate dancing. No, I won't dance. You cannot comprehend how much I hate to dance. Frick y'all. I'm going to the quiet bar across the street to watch the football game I was planning to watch tonight at home. I've been to a couple parties and honestly I can't think of so many things I'd rather do, especially when it turns to crap as parties and drinking usually does. People have wanted to fight me just because I don't engage with them or walk away, because they can't understand that someone doesn't find their bulls amusing. Forcing me to laugh. I remember back in 2nd grade when the teacher tries to crack a joke to break me. She always does it every class. Everyone was in it. That includes the minor subject teachers. It's freaking irritating. They even called me a killjoy for not laughing, like WTF, can't you at least come up with a better joke that is not cringe? And even if it's cringe, I could still laugh, depends on how the person delivers the joke. If I'm knowledgeable about something, I like to make it known, especially if it makes me right. But as an introvert, I second guess my knowledge so much that I just move on and hope someone else points it out. And then it sits in my brain for the rest of the day because I should have said something, but my social anxiety got the better of me. Anyone else? The need some people have to constantly talk. I can sit in silence quite happily. It annoys me most when it's obvious I'm doing something. Drives me mad on my lunch break at work when people talk to me when I'm eating or trying to relax and read my book. That I have to act like a different person every day to be able to afford living in this society. I mean, it's not hard to be nice or respectful, but I hate unnecessary social interactions like small talk. They are so draining and at the end of the day I'm always so tired that I get nothing else done. So I'm always trying to do things at the weekend, but I'm really angry about that. Especially when I hear how some of my co-workers met their friends or get crap done during the week. It's unfair that introverts lose 5 days a week because of such stupid conversations. Also that people like me. I know this sounds like a stupid problem to have, but it gets annoying when every single person wants to have a special friendship with you where you share everything with them. The worst is that this starts just because I'm respectful. Sometimes I question other people's social skills. I mean, I'm an introvert. So how is it possible that most people are so awful at social interactions that other people think me being respectful is such a special trait that they want to be my best friends? Crazy world, seriously. You'd think extroverts are the experts at communication. Why are you so quiet, or why don't you say something? Frick off. I got work to do. I enjoy one-on-one conversations, but not really participating while in large groups. I will just sit back and listen when in large groups, or will have a one-on-one with the person next to me. My answer to the first 2 questions is usually, I don't plan my murders out loud. That gets a good laugh, but also makes them shut up and stop bothering me. My small burst of extroversion. I 100% regret my bad decision of making plans with people. Example, you ask? I planned a Sunday booze brunch with almost complete strangers I met going out. I took the plunge and went, since I planned it, and had a terrible time. I just sat there while everyone got drunk. I don't even drink. I'm an introvert who's also really bad at saying no to people. I hate it when someone signs me up to do something in front of other people. Like, let's all go do stuff outside. And everyone's like, oh yay, that sounds awesome, are you ready? My name. And I'm like, oh yay. Then I'm stuck uncomfortable with large group of people, just wanting to be home with my dogs, drinking myself into oblivion to cope with the pressure of all these people talking into my ear. The people who don't understand that I don't need to talk to enjoy being around people. I can listen to your conversation and not feel left out. It's all good. I'm fine here just listening. You don't need to start trying to include me. I once had one of my bosses tell me, at my performance appraisal, that he would give me a rating of 4, but isn't, and is giving me a rating of 3, mainly because I don't seem to be talking to other colleagues and being chatty in general. I had to ask him how that has affected my performance or output, to which he said absolutely none whatsoever. If anything, I performed better than everyone else. But unfortunately others feel that I'm not approachable and hence he is forced to give me a lower rating. Well, frick him. Extroverts climbing the ladder, not through talent, knowledge or skill, but through being likable. To be clear, this is not all extroverts, just a few people that I've known. Missing job opportunities, being overlooked for a promotion because for some reason, companies think being loud equals competence and managing people better. My friend does this thing where he'll call me and just stay in call for hours doing his own thing like cooking or talking with his mom, and I just sit there nervous that I'll confess to being a serial killer. Not that I am a serial killer. People who try to hold a conversation with me when I'm wearing headphones. If you have an important question or something, sure, I don't mind, but the amount of times I've had people talk at me till I removed my headphones only to small talk at me is super irritating. When my mom says, why don't you go out with your friends, you never leave the house, you're on your phone and laptop all day, when I've only had my phone on hand for 5 minutes since I was doing homework before and went out with my friends literally a day ago and was out for hours. When I google introverts, the search result says stuff like, do introverts sleep? Can introverts have sex? Like all kinds of stupid stuff. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.